Hi there! Welcome back to my channel. This is my first video doing a book review. I recently read Stop Overthinking by Nick Trenton, and I think it's really good that I feel like sharing it. Obviously, I picked this book because I have serious overthinking problem. And not only it affects my mental health, it also affects my relationship with people around me. In this video, I will share key highlights from the book on how to deal with anxiety, how to manage your time and stress, and shift our attitudes and emotions. First, why people overthink. According to Nick Trenton, it is mainly driven by anxiety. I started flashing back to my own case, and most of the time I get anxious because I fear of making mistakes. And mistakes can be costly, and that stresses me out. I also get anxious when things don't go my way. My mind starts wandering around and start making things up, which most of the time are not true. The worst thing is I get upset because I cannot control the situation or other people. There's a quote I really like from this book. Instead of saying, I'm an overthinker and that's bad, I have to find a way to fix myself. It says, overthinking is a problem and I'm going to find alternatives. So what can we do when anxiety comes? Nick Trenton came up with 4 A's. First A is to avoid the stressor. For example, if crowd stresses you out, avoid going to the malls on weekends. Instead, adjust your schedule and go on weekdays if possible. Second is to alter the environment to remove the stressor. Your good friend gives you advice, but in a more condescending way. You cannot really avoid your friend because she's a good friend, but you can try to let them know that the way they're talking to you kind of stresses you out. She might not notice it in the first place, and after you talk to her, they might change the way they speak to you. Third is to accept the situation and come to terms with it. Mistakes are inevitable. Nobody is perfect. When we make mistakes, we feel down, we validate our feeling, and we do better next time. Fourth is to adapt with the situation. Unfortunately, many realities just cannot be changed. To help us cope, we can shift our focus on other things that can ease our anxiety, such as gratitude lists. Instead of focusing on the things we cannot control, we can look around us and start noticing the things that we can be grateful of. I'm sure there are plenty. When you think about it, simple things can make you happy. Now, overthinkers can sometimes be overachiever or over-responsible. We try to squeeze as many chores as we can into one day. We put relaxing at the end of the list. It is a rare trait, and most of the time, we never reach that end of the list. Hence, our mood is worsened and leave us feeling anxious or depleted. See rest and relaxation as important and worthy of focus, not just something you tack onto at the end of the day after most important things are done. Start your day with something you enjoy doing. Schedule time to work out. Meet with people who make your day brighter. So, Nick Trenton suggested to list down 3 things which represent our values and our priorities. Then analyze how we spend our time in a day. Do we spend most time that reflect our values? If not, then we need to restructure our schedules to align with our values. He talked about some methods to help manage time, energy, and inputs. There are Allen's input processing, Eisenhower's method, Kanban method, time blocking method. What works for me personally is a combination of Eisenhower's method and time blocking, since I'm very much a to-do list person. So, for Eisenhower's method, the to-do list is broken down into 4 parts, more like 3, because the 4th part doesn't really matter. We'll talk about it in a bit. First is to identify what is important and urgent. This should bring us closer to our goals and values. Whatever is categorized here has to be done immediately. If there are many of this, try to see if it could have been planned better. For me, this is where it takes a big chunk of my time, and I easily get distracted. So, in this case, I apply also the time blocking method. For example, writing a script for my YouTube video or editing. These can take hours and hours, and I usually set 1-2 hours just to focus on this part, so I won't easily get distracted. Next category is things that are important but not really urgent. These tasks bring us closer to our goal also, but it doesn't have to be done now. Some examples of these are exercise, sorting your budget, maintaining a relationship. These are important, so try to schedule time and act on these things before they become urgent. Third category will be not important but urgent. This doesn't enrich your life or bring you closer to your goal. Unfortunately, there are things in life that needs to be taken care of. If not, there might be penalty or consequences. For example, paying bills, booking flight tickets. So for this kind of things, if possible, try to delegate to someone else. Last category doesn't have to go to your to-do list. It's a category where it's not important, not urgent. For example, mindless social media, binge watching, playing video games. We should completely delete and ignore and try to reduce the frequency. So yeah, try to categorize your to-do list so it doesn't overwhelm you and you kind of know what important things to focus on each day. So the last part of this video is where Nick Trenton shared 5 attitudes we should exercise to achieve healthier mindset. Number 1, focus on what you can control, not what you can't. We cannot control other people's actions, thoughts, and feelings. Even if the other person is wrong, do not dwell thinking about it. Instead, try to shift our energy on the solutions and just move on. Attitude number 2, focus on what you can do, not on what you can't. Another quote I really like from this book is, action without thinking is idiocy, but thinking without action is anxiety. If plan A doesn't work, then think of plan B. Great inventors arrive at amazing ideas because of their multiple failures. Try to focus on new possibilities by this failure, not on the failure itself. Otherwise, we place stress on ourselves needlessly. Third, focus on what you have, not on what you don't. Anxiety comes from a perspective that focuses on everything that's wrong with the situation, while confidence and contentment comes from a perspective of possible solutions and positive interpretations. Try to focus on what resources you have around you and use that to see solutions and opportunities. Attitude number 4, focus on the present, not the past or the future. Anxiety always lingers elsewhere. Playback of the past or million stressful possibilities. This robs away the joy of the present. Attitude number 5, focus on what you need, not what you want. This results in less stress, less options, less wasted time. It helps us focus on our truest value. Trim things down, don't try to control decisions to an extreme degree. Sometimes it's just not as complicated as we think. In summary, fearful and anxious emotions are more than welcome to ride in a car with us. It's hard to remove these emotions completely, but they do not get the driver's seat. I hope these highlights are helpful to you as much as they are to me. We cannot change everything in one night, but at least I know I'm not helpless and there are alternatives to overthinking. If you're still here until the end, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you on my next video. Bye now.